Welcome class. In this video, I will talk about continental drift theory. Since the Enlightenment, may mga tanong na pumukaw sa atensyon ng mga tao tungkol sa kung bakit ganito ang posisyon ng ating mga continents, and then at the same time, bakit may mga structure katulad ng mountain and sea and different landforms present in our planet. They want to explain these ways, and many propose different ideas and concepts to explain it. And before we talk about the continental drift theory, let us talk about the predecessors of the continental drift theory. Idea that explain why continents and other landforms, oceans, are present in our planet is the contracting Earth theory. Sa theory na ito, sinasabi na over the time, ang planeta natin ay nag-cool down. This decrease in temperature causes the contraction of the Earth. As it contracts, it gives pressure to some parts. So pinupush niya itong parts na to upwards, which will then form mountains. Then sa ibang parts, continuously lang lulubog ang mga crust na ito, forming oceans, just like what is shown here in this racing. So as you can see here in this racing, there are parts na nakabulge. We can say that this can represent the mountains, and may mga parts na nakalubog. This will represent the ocean basins of our planet. Aside from the contracting Earth theory, may mga nagsuggest din ng isa pang theory which is called as the expanding Earth theory. Sa theory na ito, sinasabi na nabuo yung planeta natin as one where all the continents are connected to each other. However, throughout the time, nadadagdagan daw yung mass ng ating planeta. For some reasons, others suggested na merong ether, something na mechanism sa pinaka-core natin which produces more matter. Others have suggested naman na may unti-unting pumapasok na matter mula sa outer space causing the expansion of our planet. But technically, the idea is that over the time, these planet or our planet have expanded, causing the separation of the continents. So, throughout the years, matagal na niwala ang mga tao sa teorya ng expanding Earth theory at ng contracting Earth theory. 1912 na nang dumating si Alfred Wegener, the Continental Drift Theory, and skeptical pa ang mga tao about his theory. In 1912, naging matunog ang pangalan ni Alfred Wegener sa scientific community. Siya ay isang meteorologist at nag-propose na ang continents natin ay parte ng isang supercontinent 200 million years ago. However, for some reason, itong supercontinent which we refer to as Pangaea break apart and drifted away from each other. Nilathala niya ang kanyang findings in 1915 sa librong may title na The Origins of Continents and Oceans, which looks like this. Ang main idea ng continental drift theory is that 225 million years ago, Pangaea, a supercontinent, existed, meaning lahat ng continents as we know today ay connected as one. However, it started to break apart and drift from each other, forming two continents, the Laurasia and Gondwana. Um, Laurasia will then form North America, Europe, and Asia. And Gondwana, minsan tinatawag na Gondwana land sa ibang resources, will then form the following continents: South America, Africa, India, Australia, and Antarctica. And for 150 million years, our planet looks like this, the planet as we have known today. May mga pinresent na evidences si Alfred Wegener to support the continental drift theory, and the first one is the fit of the continents. Specifically, pumukaw sa atensyon ni Wegener ang pagkakamatch ng coastlines ng South America at ng Africa. We can say that this is the first evidence and the main reason why Wegener tried to know more about the origins of the continents. And this observation eventually led to the proposal of his theory. So nakita ni Wegener na mayroong perfect match ang mga continents. He gathered more evidences to support his claim, and the findings of other scientists from different studies have helped him with this. Meaning yung mga nakalap niya na evidences are freely available na. Pinagsama-sama niya ito to support his theory. The next evidence that supported his theory is the presence of fossils, similar fossils in different continents that are separated by oceans and miles away from each other. Na-discover niya yung presence ng Glossopteris sa different continents, isang uri ng ancient plant which can only survive in cold climates. The fossils of Glossopteris are discovered in Australia, Antarctica, India, and South America. This suggests na yung location dati ng mga continents na ito ay nasa place in our planet where ice can exist, and at the same time, kinakailangan na magkakadikit sila because there is no other way for Glossopteris to proliferate if it will need to cross the oceans. Other fossil evidences such as the presence of fossils of ancient animals in different countries such as Lystrosaurus and Sinognathus. Lystrosaurus and Sinognathus. These are land animals which will not have the capability to cross oceans. Yung Mesosaurus naman, although it has the ability to swim, it does not have the capability to migrate from one continent to another by just swimming. Also, I want you to take note that the fossil evidence's location supports the matching of the continents. Meaning, kung ano yung mga continents na magkakamatch, yun din yung mga continents na may similarities with the fossil evidences collected. Just like what is shown here in this picture. Another evidence that supports the continental drift theory is the similarities of rocks of two matching continents. Similar yung rocks in a sense na parehas sila ng composition at parehas sila ng age. This only suggests that these rocks form when the continents are connected to each other. Katulad ng pinapakita sa picture, yung mountain ranges ng South America and Africa have the same age. They also have the same granite deposit, it has the same composition, and at the same time formed at similar time. Light deposits. Take note that this type of deposit will only happen because of erosion caused by glaciers. Ito kasi yung tipo ng deposit na makikitaan mo ng sediments with different sizes. And sometimes the sizes of these sediments will not be carried by water or air alone. Kailangan ng mas malaking driving force to make this type of deposit. And this driving force is caused by the movement of glaciers, like what is shown here in this picture. Wegener stated that in continents na wala namang glaciers ay may presence ng tillite deposits. And the way they formed, lalong-lalo na in direction ng pag-travel ng glacier to make them form matches. This only supports that the continental drift theory is true and the continents such as Australia, Antarctica, India, Africa, and South America are connected to each other, forming the same tillite deposits. Though the evidences to support the continental drift theory are strong, hindi naman agad-agad tinanggap ng scientific community ito. Pinaka-major na criticism dito ay ang Wegener's lack of explanation why the drifting happened. Nung finormulate kasi ni Wegener yung theory niya, wala siyang sinabing reason kung bakit nagkaroon ng drifting. Late na niya sinabi na maaari daw na nangyari ang drifting dahil sa pag-rotate ng planet natin. Madali naman itong kinontra ng mga critics niya, saying that the force generated by the Earth's rotation will never be enough to make the continents break apart and drift from each other. May iba pang sinuggest na mechanisms ng continental drift theory si Wegener. Sabi niya, pwedeng ito ay dahil sa pagkakaroon ng tides caused by the moon's gravitational pull, pero ito ay madaling dinisprove ng scientific community. Another criticism to the theory is the fact that Wegener is a meteorologist. Medyo hindi matanggap ng scientific community na ang isang geological concept ay ipapaliwanag ng isang meteorologist. Personal na atake, pero nakaapekto sa teorya ni Wegener. And lastly, at masasabi kong breaking point of the continental drift theory is the error in the calculation of the continent's movement. Specifically, nagka-error si Wegener sa pag-calculate ng movement ng Greenland. Mas mataas ang kanyang calculation kesa sa actual movement of Greenland. His calculation was further disproved by the different studies and ultimately lead to the disprovement of his theory. Yung theory ni Wegener ay masasabi nating pioneering sa pag-explain ng pagkabuo ng continents natin. However, naging masaklap nga lang ang ending kasi namatay si Wegener sa isang expedition sa Greenland as he studies the climate. Namatay siya sa panahon na di patanggap ang kanyang theory at tinuturing ito ng marami na isang pseudoscience. 30 years later pa, after his death, a new theory was proposed which will then support the claims of Alfred Wegener's continental drift theory. And that's the end of this lesson. Thank you.